Okay, so yeah, I'm in a plane. Probably a weird way to start a review vlog. I'm trying something new, so stick with me. I promise you will like it. Anyway, insert travel montage here. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. This is my 2007 350Z HR. The HR will be important later on, but for now, I just want to tell you about my car. I've had it from 2019, and a little bit sad that it's as stock as it came from the factory. Besides adding a new head unit into it, this car is stock as it can be. A little bit sadder is I used to cut CDs for this car. That's how old it is. And if you know anything about cutting CDs, it's a dying art form. You'd have to download music, make sure you didn't get a virus, balance out CD space, and hope your CD wasn't scratched. Anyway, the saddest thing about my car is it hasn't been started in a couple of months. So let's turn that key and hear this baby start up. The history of the Z is iconic, even legendary? Okay, maybe I'm biased. Still, when you think of performance Nissan, you might think of the greats like the Sylvia or the Skylines. Well, you have to believe the Z is part of that legacy too. Starting in the late 60s, Nissan delivered the 240Z, a lightweight, affordable sports car which set the foundation for the Z platform, which gave us the 260Z, the 280Z, and the 280ZX. Fast forward a couple of decades, with a lot of technology improvements, the Z went turbo with the infamous 300ZX, which became a performance benchmark for its era. And after a short break, Nissan revived the Z name with, the 350Z. The 350Z production ran from 2002 to about 2009, and I think a lot of millennials like myself will have a very specific first memory of this car. Need for Speed Underground was probably when we first saw and maybe fell in love with 350Z. Covered in vinyl, had underglow, sounded insanely amazing even for a game from 2003. In the current automotive era, I don't know if the Z still holds up to the power chasers. However, the VQ35 from its birth produced a healthy amount of power and only got more powerful throughout the years. It started with the DE back in 2002, which introduced the world to the 350Z, producing around 206 kilowatts and was well known for its mid-range torque. From there, it did go a little upgrade in the form of the DE Rev Up with a slightly higher redline and a bump in power. Then we got this, the HR, the final form of the 350Z, produced between 2007 and 2009 with a 230 kilowatt power mark. But also a lot of refinements specifically to the engine, now with dual intakes, higher compression, and an even higher redline, all from a stronger engine block. Okay, a bit of a difficult but simple question to ask. How does it drive? It's a difficult and simple question because I might be a little bit biased to the 350Z because I think it's a near perfect platform. Listen, it's pure fun with a simple formula. And that formula is basically this. Imagine this, 6-speed manual, great amount of power, decent amount of power, LSD, not the drug, but limited slip differential, as well as a 50-50 weight distribution, all going to a rear-wheel drive car. Now, if that's not perfect, I don't know what is. Well, yeah, I can imagine. But think of this, how many cars in this day and age can actually give you all of those characteristics? The greatest thing about the car, it has such a giving engine. It honestly just wants to be pushed. It doesn't sit well below 2000 RPMs, and you can honestly feel so much power behind the steering and pedals because it's such a bare bones car. There's so much feedback from the road that you honestly have to be a really great driver to handle it, because there are two small characteristics of the car that are really tricky to master. Firstly, it's the control. The hips on this car love to swing out, so you can basically hit a drift anytime you want. but also the clutch. The clutch is something that every learner should go for, because if you master the clutch on a 350Z, you can master any clutch on any car. Now, the 350Z has all of these characteristics, making it a perfect car for a lot of applications and a lot of fun. You can take it onto the track, you can take it drifting, you can even take it to drags, and you would have so much fun with it. Now, every car with power and all of these amazing characteristics is nothing without handling, and the 350Z handles fantastic. Again, biased, but maybe you'll have a different perspective. The reason I say it handles so well is because from the steering, it's so light, it's sharp, it's accurate, and it sometimes can be very precise, thanks to the all-around multi-link suspension, which keeps the car very grounded on the road. What makes the 350Z, in my eyes, a JDM classic? It has the heritage of the Z name, plus the DNA of Nissan performance. It's just a simple sports car packed with hard-to-find qualities. Now, owning a 350Z can be a challenge, but it has its perks. Every so often I find myself discovering more and more about the legacy and the history of the Z every time I look into it. Things only other owners would know, but let me be honest and blatant, the 350Z can be a love-hate relationship. The hate comes purely from the cost and the availability of parts, which can be very difficult to find at affordable prices. Yes, you can get a number of components from Nissan and other places, but you're still gonna pay a huge amount of money. For instance, my last minor service was around 7,000 to 9,000 Rand. Tires, which I don't cheap out on, I have Pirelli P7s, which came to just over 12,000 Rand with fitment and balancing, and brakes, which are EBC yellow stuff that came just under 5k thanks to a generous special. Now, interesting about the Z, you can save a lot of money and time if you take the time to learn about the car and how to maintain it, which I've done over the years. The brakes, the minor service, and the overall maintenance are super easy to do on your own with YouTube tutorials. However, I would recommend one thing: just buy good tools. I think I spent a lot of time trying to make the tools I had work in terms of getting the job done, than actually getting the job done. Listen, I love the car, and I'm sure you will too. You're gonna love everything about it, just like I have. I love every little detail. But you have to understand one thing: it's a sports car that loves to be driven, and this car is not an efficient drive. A full tank will set you back around 1,700 Rand, and more shockingly, would only give you about 400 something to about 480 kilometers in range. Okay, granted, I drive a little, okay, wait, let me think about this before I incriminate myself. I drive spirited, wink wink, nudge nudge. But honestly, it'll be the drive of your life. Every time you start the car, get it onto the road and push it, it's gonna be an amazing drive. And that's where the love for the 350Z really comes from, its drive. Don't know if you can hear that, that's stock as they come, but fun as it is. Now, if you're looking for a 350Z, the next bit is gonna upset some of the current owners. Look, when I was searching for my 350Z, I was adamant to get the best or close to the best possible version of it, and that is the HR. Go ahead, fight me in the comments, but here are my reasons. Firstly, the VQ35 isn't just tuned up on the HR, it's been completely changed up to produce 230 kilowatts, has a higher rev limiter, improved valve timing, increased compression, dual intakes, better exhaust manifolds, all for the sake of more lively performance with smoother power delivery. The HR is peak 350Z performance, well, besides the Nismo editions. It also comes with the better styling with the more iconic hood, the 5-spoke wheels, as well as the LED taillights with the xenon headlamps, making the outside a little more appealing than the earlier models. The interior also went through some growth with the revised center console, way better audio, and an overall improvement on the interior, which I can only guess felt a little more premium and modern, especially for late 2007. Now, the following is trim dependent, but the HR could come with the factory LSD, robust traction and stability control, as well as Brembo brakes. On my model, I have all of these things. Now, if all of that doesn't make the HR the ultimate package, I'm not sure how else I'm going to sell you on getting a 350Z. Speaking of selling, when I first got my 350Z, I paid around $160,000, affordable even with my terrible salary at the time. But as of late, I'm seeing prices between $200,000 and $240,000 for even early DEs, which is a little weird but shows you the investment potentials for these cars.
Yeah, but a sweet moment, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I have to put the car back away for I don't know how long. I'm not sure when I'll be back in Joburg. Lots of people have been asking me, why don't you take it down to Cape Town? Yeah, I've been thinking about it for a long time, and maybe 2026 is the year I pull the trigger. But beyond any of that, I think the 350Z, whether it be a DE, rev up, or even the HR, is an investment. And a lot of people will fight me on saying that. Look, I love this car. It's such a passionate car. And I think if you ever had the chance to drive one or own one, you would agree. So my advice to anyone is get a 350Z while you can. They're not going to be god tier JDM cars like GTRs, Silvias, RX-7s and NSXs, but you won't be disappointed. You'll be happy. And I think that's what I feel every time I drive my car. I feel happy. So yeah, go out there, check wherever you can, get yourself a 350Z. You will not be disappointed. And with that, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Yeah.